Hi guys, it's me Leigh with Victorian Dreams by Leigh. Thanks for stopping by, and hi to all my new subbies. I'm glad to have you. So today is a tutorial. I was going to make one long one, but I'm going to do it short ones in sequence so that you can only go back to what you need. So it's only going to be 2 videos, maybe 3, I'm not sure. Um, and this is how to get your album, a 6x6 album, started. I'm going to show you how to cover it with chipboard and do the hidden hinge. And then right after that, after I upload, I'll do the pages. So let's get started. So you've seen me make these albums recently. And on these 4, I only had 12 sheets of paper, and one was stickies and cards. So I really only had 10 sheets of paper and 10 sheets of paper. And so I still had enough to do 4 pages, and I've already showed you, they're down below. And then I added pages, and I'll show you that in the next video, and pockets and all that. And let me move these out of the way. And then this one is almost the same, but it doesn't have the pockets. Both of them had these pull-out pockets, but they didn't have the pockets right here. So, but they had these extra pages and then the hidden little pockets in here. Okay, so these 2 are like that. And this 6x6 album that I made has a, a, a page here and then a page here with tucks and tucks and then the pullouts. So, there's different ways to do it. I'm just going to give you the base, how to cover your cardstock, and then how to get the pages and everything like that, because I want you to be able to, it's like for beginners or just to give people idea. So here's chipboard. Chipboard is about the thickness of 2 cereal boxes put together, or 3 manila folders, where those folders that you put important papers in, about 3 of those put together. So if you don't have chipboard, dollar store sells chipboard, but I buy 50 sheets of 12 by 12 chipboard from Amazon, and it was $22, free shipping and handling if you have Prime, and my son has Prime, so I hand him stuff I need. Sometimes he surprises me and just buys me stuff, and I'm all giddy. Okay, this is 6x6, 6x6, and this is 2x6. Okay, and so all I did was put the tape where I thought it needed to be. Some people totally cover it up. I don't think I need that because I will add glue. So the most important thing I think you need to remember also is to burnish it down. And burnish is to get all those air bubbles out of the tape, because if you don't get the air bubbles out, it'll show up on your paper and you'll have a little lump. And also the air bubbles lets air get underneath there, and eventually the air will seep through all your tape and it'll start coming undone. Burnish in the dictionary means to polish by rubbing, shine, brighten, rub, smooth. So I'm using the rub or smooth. So that's what it is. So, okay, we got all the tape on both sides. And so I have 3 different size tapes, a half, a quarter, and 1/8. This is the one I'm using as a quarter right now. I actually get to go to the expo and I buy it for $1 a roll. I've seen it at dollar store for $1 a roll. Let me go to my controls and get that camera from bouncing around. Just give me a second. I've seen it at the dollar store too, or I've seen people haul it. I haven't seen it, so hopefully you could find it there. And at the dollar store, you know those alphabet in the teacher section, the alphabet training boards, that's chipboard for $1. You could get that and cut it up to the sizes you need if you can't seem to find chipboard or you only want to try one album. So you're going to need a pokey tool. Don't go buy an expensive pokey tool if you have a needle. So you could do that. And if you don't have a bone folder, you can always be very careful, but you can always use your scissors or something to burnish that down. Okay, so I am lucky enough to live in the Dallas area that I buy 80-pound linen on both sides, and I think you might be able to see the linen on that, and at wholesale price at a wholesaler. uh, I still have my occupational license. Burnish this down on this side too. I still have my occupational license from when I owned a brick and mortar gift shop, Victorian Dreams, and I have it for our business, our land survey business. So I'm able to buy really good paper at a good price. So Kimmy gave me this idea to butt this up against here, and I put it between the 6 and the quarter, and then I can butt this up because you don't want a lot of extra paper over on this side of the tape, because then air and it'll be flapping and you'll be, hitting on it. So try to put it right on the edge of the tape. If you don't, you can use a little glue. In fact, I do like to use glue. I'm glad I said that. And art glitter glue. It dries clear. And I just run one bead down. And I put it right here. And it lines up very straight. And if it oozes out, that's okay. It's going to 99% of the time get covered, and it dries clear. But I don't want glue on that for sure. So let me get that off. It has a little bit on there from all the ones I've been making. But also burnish again. Rub. Okay, so let's get rid of the score. Okay, so I am now ready to put these down. But what I like to do, because I want to be straight, is I know that this paper is 8.5 and this is only 6, so I know I have an inch here and an inch and a half here. So I at least take this inch, put my ruler here, and I line it up with the paper, and I draw a line, and I line it up, draw a line. I only do it on the bottom. I don't need to do it on the sides. And I like to be able to see that line. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a line there. I should have done white paper. And and I can line it up. So what I'm going to do is, with my pokey tool or needle, or if you have nice fingernails, and after you burnish it, that word is a hard word for me to say all the time. After you burnish it, the tape will come up a lot easier. When you see people struggle, it's because they didn't get it secure. So the lines here, I want the middle of the back of this chipboard to go in the middle of that seam, because I want that seam to be able to be on the strong part. If it's on the edge, if it slips, it'll move. So let's put that there as straight as we can and push it down. Okay. So I take 2 pieces of chipboard. This is 4 inches, but I take 2 of them together and I stick them, and it gives me the space I like Some people only use one piece of chipboard, but I like two pieces together. And I take the next piece. The 6x6 chipboard I bought at Joann's, and this one is 4x6, and I bought it at Joann's. This was years ago. I'm sure they still have it. The only time I buy from Joann's is if I order it and then go in the store and pick it up because there's one down the road. Or when they have free shipping, I'll add chipboard to my shipping. Okay, so what I'm going to do, hopefully you can see this. That is going to give me the gap I need, and I'm going to put it on the line. So I'm pushing hard up against this, and I'm going to try to put it, and actually I'm going to put on my better glasses, and I hope I just did not put that where it's going to be sticky. Ooh, I got lucky, I didn't. So I'm going to put on my reading glasses so I can see better. I take my time on this because I want my album to turn out nice. A lot of people you see will rush, but they're rushing, or you think they're rushing because they've done it a lot. And after you've done this, it really does become second nature. So there you go. The other day, as I'm putting this down, and you'll see me do the other side, I have glasses on that are just reading glasses, but I think I need to go from a 1 to a 1.5. So I have the ones on from the dollar store. And I put the 1.5 on my eyes and the ones on my head, and they fell. And I'm like, why am I going blind? Because I have 2 pair of glasses on my eyes right this moment. If there's any tape, I don't know if you can see that. Push that back over. Push the tape back over if it hung off. Okay, so now let's put this here. So yeah, I love this paper, and I'm grateful enough that I have a occupational license and tax ID number that I can go into wholesale places like Atlanta Market and Dallas Market, and I can buy stuff wholesale if I'm needing it. We have it with both businesses. Okay, so this I can take apart and use it another time, or it could be used for the next time I make an album. Okay, so now you're going to flip it over. Switching glasses back and forth is going to drive y'all crazy. And I'm going to make sure, you know what I really like to do? I do like to add glue to my chipboard, but it's not the end of the world that I didn't. Some people add, some don't. But I do like to, because I like to add where the tape isn't, but that's okay. Okay. So I have seen on other videos, and this is, well, let's go ahead and just stay focused and cut this. So I am going to just eyeball and cut a straight line right here and on both sides. These could be used for pockets or cut spot, tuck spots or whatever. Okay, I have seen people take it and they make lines to cut, because you do not want to cut on those corners and show your chipboard. If you do, it's not the end of the world. They do make corner rounders, and you could also take a marker that color. Okay, so let me move that so the light isn't bad. So slowly, this paper is good quality and heavy, but it doesn't matter what type of paper. You need to go slow and push up. And some people get this done in 30 seconds. This whole thing, I'm doing it in live time. I'm not speeding it up. And it does take a minute, and just grab and pull a little bit and then go to the other side and slowly, because the gentler you are on your paper, the less tearing you'll have or ripping. So there we go. Then I'm going to do this side. I'm gently, and the other side, gently. Okay, now I take my bone folder and I do rub on that. Okay, and this is the fun of crafting. You kind of have the music on and you just lose yourself in your project. And you know what? So what if this takes you 5 minutes longer than everyone else's project? 5 minutes in the middle of the project or at the end of the project, it's all good. At least it turned out wonderful. So, okay. Now the cutting. The cutting for me is the tricky part. So you see people and they cut and they go all at one swipe. Well, I can't do that for some reason. So I go up to that line and then I start cutting, but I can't keep cutting because I'll end up way over here. Am I in focus? Can y'all see that? Let me put the white color. So I'm cutting and I need to stop. And then I come back on this side and meet up. And that's how I have to do it. Everyone has a different way. And just because I'm doing it that way doesn't mean that my corners are going to turn out good. I used to make albums for about 4 years ago. I made a lot of albums and I got out of it for a while. And now I've only made about 10 after getting out of it for a while. I mean, but before I made probably, I don't know, 20 of them. So, but see, mine look a little different. And then when I lay it over and it doesn't look right and I need to trim some more, I'm going to trim some more. But some of them are, they go to town and just cut it. But I'm afraid to whack it the wrong way. So anyway. Okay. I do take glue and I run a bead of glue only on the chipboard. I miss the spacing on the chipboard and on the chipboard. But before I do that, let's peel off well, actually, you know what I have to do? I have to show you how to fold these in. And sometimes they fold in better one way than they did the other. So we fold that in. I want to show you the best way. Okay, so I push it straight down. See the crinkle in it? It went straight down. Okay. Then when it goes straight down, then I take it and I pinch it over. And see, and then when you miter it, that corner is mitered. Now don't look at the bumpiness because I don't have it folded down yet. Well, there you go. But see how it got mitered? Okay. I do take my time on that. Okay, so let's move the tape. And I'll show you on all four so it'll help you. Because it gets tricky on the mitering of the corners. Let's take off some of the tapes. You can take off the tape all the way if you want. So let's go ahead and put the glue on here because just it's a little tiny bead And all it's for is to not have the air pocket. But I'm going to have to work fast, or I'm going to have to rerun it, because guess what I forgot to tell y'all. And I'm glad I'm making all these mistakes. Well, forgetfulness, because you got to put tape right here on the paper, because when you fold your paper down, it may not latch on to where you have tape. It may be in the middle where there is no tape. It may be in the middle here. So, okay. And you notice I'm not totally, don't forget, you gotta burnish everything. See, I see an air pocket there. Okay, so let's take it off. And do you see where the tape did not go to the total side? Well, that's why I like to use glue, because it will pick up those tiny little edges. I need to go back and a little more. You're saying you're doing double. It's such a minimal amount, but this goes a long way, and it's so nice to use it. Okay, so we've already folded. We know how we like it. So there we go. We know we folded that over and crinkled it in. Let me go ahead and make sure that that glue, my table, if you see it moving, it is uneven because it's a plastic banquet table, and I ironed on it one time and the heat was so much that it warped my table. But when I move, I'm going to get a new table out of storage. But so if you see things off balance in your eye, it's my table. Move all these out of the way. I'm glad that I'm not stressing about doing this all in one video. There you go. So we're going to put the tape here. I need one of those square cutting things that I've seen people use, because I don't think I'm doing myself justice by not having the square tear for the tear tape, score tape. We're not scoring the tape, so I don't know why we call it that. Well, we burnish it down, but we don't score it on our scoring board. Okay, so burnish, burnish, burnish. I see a bubble right there. Let's get it out. Let's make sure it's ready and it's pliable. Let's put the glue here. I have a craft store here where I live and where I'm moving to, the town I'm moving to, so I'm able to buy glue year-round. I know that the glue cannot be shipped until the spring, so everyone can start shipping their glues. So now we're going to put the glue on the edge where the tape didn't get. And if it seeps out on this part, it doesn't matter, because we're going to cover with more paper. This is the blue paper, linen cardstock, a royal blue. So let's put this down. I think y'all can see now. I can move this piece of paper. Let's put that down and burnish where that glue was on the edge. Burnish there. And it came out a little bit there, and that's okay. Okay, now the corner again. I pinch down and pinch in. Pinch down and pinch in. This one we did. This one I pinch down, pinch straight down. See how it's pinched straight down, and then pinch in. Let's see. And then this one we pinch down. Let me see if I can get to it. Pinch in. This one to me looks like it wants to show a little white. So if it does, I'll take a blue marker and fix that. So okay, now we do the side. So we're going to take our tape. Nope, let's put our tape down first. Y'all can put this on 2-speed and speed it up. And then right after this, I'm going to show you the hidden hinge and then make the next video after I prep my paper and everything, okay? The reason why I like 6x6 albums is because you take a 12x12 sheet of paper, you cut the paper in 4s, and you get a lot of each album over there. I made 2 albums out of 10 sheets of paper, and it holds 54 to 60 photos. So you get a lot for your bang. So here we go. See the glue easing out. That's okay. We're going to cover this with our next sheet of paper, but I'm going to wipe it anyway. When you're burnishing, rubbing, I can see the glue right there. When you're using dark blue or black paper, it's a good thing if you burnish on a white sheet of paper and it won't leave strips, okay? It won't leave your strips, or streaks, I should say. Okay, so we got the side, Let's put the tape down first. It does take time to do this. I should have put the tape down before I started this video and it would have saved a lot of time. I'm just trying to make it easy as possible for you guys. I don't want this to be scary. I want you to say, if Leigh can do it, anyone can, because that's what I say. Just take your time. What if this took me, I don't know, 30 minutes and it takes you 35? That's all okay. But fast forward me if you need to. I do watch a lot of other people that make videos of albums because I like to see their layouts. I actually like to see the paper because I don't get to see what papers look like, and then you see, oh, that's what that paper line looks like. I love paper. I need to buy more paper. So, okay. Now, before I add the next sheet to cover this, I find my areas here and I score just a little, and then I gradually, I mean, it's gentle. You see, this is bouncing. I take my time. The easier you are, the better it will be, your binding will be, because if you force it, it's going to crack and peel on both sides, the front and the back. So there we go. See, no cracking, no peeling, no bumps. Okay, so that's ready. So now, my Tim Holtz ruler, it's a 6-inch, remember? So I want my paper to be, I don't know, probably, and you can take a screenshot of this. This is the best thing ever to have around. So if it's 6 inches, I want my paper to be 5 7/8 to 5 15/16. I only want a little bit. Okay, so let's get my blue paper. And here's the papers that I use. Here's the black, here's the cream, here's the blue, and there's the white and the linen. I do want craft. And the reason why I'm picking blue today is I'm going to use this in my album next. So let me just move this out of the way. I did want to show you all that. Black and white go with a lot of things. So I have my blue paper right here. So I'm going to measure. Tim Holtz ruler, I love it, except for I should have painted it with white clear fingernail polish, because you see how it's rubbing off in some places, the lettering. 5 1/4, 5, what did I say, 5 15/16. So I'm going to go right here. What I did was I used that line and then put a tick mark there. Before I do it, if I put that there and the tick mark, I can see where it's going to end up. So you don't have to measure. You can always use a ruler or put a tick mark where you see it and eyeball it. Okay. Oh, I have it backwards. I've never done this backwards before. So this is a first. Okay. Off of there. Needed a better blade. Okay. And see where it's going to line up. Give me 2 more minutes of taping this down, and I will do the hidden hinge for you. If you have a tape runner and all that kind of stuff, you can use whatever you can afford and whatever you want to use, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's your project. No one's going to know but you unless you spill the beans and give them details. And then they're going to look at you like, what's a tape runner? What's a scoreboard? So, thank goodness for expos where I get to buy. The last expo I went to, this person I always buy the tape from, they weren't there. So I hope they're going to be there in June. And in June, that's when the Graphic 45 people show up too at the booth. And I hope they're going to be there too. Okay. Let's move that out of the way. Move that. So remember, let's get all those air pockets out. Okay. I need a bucket right here because my trash can is full, and I've made so many albums that all these little pieces of white tape is on the floor beside it because I haven't stopped long enough to take, well, the trash hasn't come, because I think I made 3 videos, 3 albums in 2 days. Okay, so see how the tape didn't hit all the spots, but this glue solves that problem. It's just a little bead. Okay. see a piece of tape wanting to stick out. I want to push it back in and under. And I see it right here too, which that would get covered up. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't want to make score lines or lines on it, so I'm actually doing this to save the paper, which I'll show you guys since it's going to get covered up. But if you do that, you see the little creasy marks? I can see them. Okay. So I need one more sheet of paper for this, and you're like, oh, that's one more sheet. But it's okay because I'll use it for pockets and stuff. You're always supposed to cut bringing it down, and I just did the opposite. Sorry about that. But yeah, you cut and you bring it to you, and it should give you a better cut. I've already got the hinge already made, so it's going to go very fast. But this is for any album. All you do is measure. You can use 12 by 12 paper. If you want a bigger album like an 8 by 8, a 5 by 7, you know what paper you have, and you put them together. An 8.5 by 11 I use because that's what I have. But if I'm making a 12 by 12 and I want pink, or if I want another color, I'll use my 12 by 12 paper. This is the most time consuming, is this project right here, or this part of it. And we're already under an hour. You see me flicking it to the floor right here. When I get done with this, before I even put my pages together, I'm going to get on my hands and knees and pick that up. Okay, I want to make sure all the tape is on the side it needs to be on. And yes, that's proper. Let's put our glue where the gaps are. If you don't have glue and you don't want to use glue, don't. I haven't always used glue, but I am happy to use it. Okay, so let me turn it this way so I can see. Okay, so we're done with that. So now we have to find our creases again. Our binder, and score with our bone folder, score it a little bit. Score it. Now let's just gradually. This is a pretty thick bone folder, so it's not real aggressive. Let's gradually lift it up. There we go. Let's turn it to the other side. Gradually. Glue and stuff stuck everywhere. You can see it everywhere on my fingers and on the dark colored paper. Glue stuck to my fingers. Ugh. Okay, so there we go. First step on how to make an album is to cover your chipboard and how to cover a chipboard. Second step is the hinge. Okay, so guys, I'm going to show you this again so you can screenshot it. It's wonderful to have. Okay. Second step is my notes right here. Let's go over it real fast and then we'll do this. You need a bone folder, use scissors, pokey tool, use a needle, tape, any type of tape you can afford, glue if you like glue, plus it gives it on the edges where you didn't have the tape. Chipboard is 2 cereal boxes put together is like a chipboard, or 3 medium manila folders. Take time folding your scoring. Take time folding and scoring your paper. Take time cutting the edges where those edges are. Take time turning the paper up. Why is the size of the binder that size? It is 1/16 smaller than the pages. The binder size that I'm going to give you is 1/16 smaller than the pages, so it doesn't stick over the pages. It gives you wiggle room, and the pages will be a little smaller than the chipboard so that they stick inside the book, because you know how pages stick inside the book, and this is. Our pages are going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and it gives us wiggle room right here. So, okay, we're up to date. So now stack the deck. We're using 2 hidden hinges, and why it's hidden is when you stack it, you really only see a hinge, but you don't see how it's there. So the first hidden hinge, or I'll show you so that you can screenshot this. Okay, for the binding, the first one is 1.5 by 5 11/16. The 5 11/16 is just a hair smaller. 11/16 is right here. Our pages are 5 3/4, so it's only one smaller than my thickness of my finger, smaller, because you want your pages to fit over your hinge. You want your pages to fit over the hinge, so it's a little smaller. So the first size is 1.5 by 5 11/16. And then you're going to score on both sides a half. Then you rotate and you score a half. I use the bigger ball of these two, and I do it twice. And then I put my tape on it. The second hinge that goes on the bottom, and then this stacks here, this is 2 1/4 by 5 11/16. All of it's always going to be 5 11/16. This size is different. So it's 2 1/4, and you do half, rotate, and score half. Okay? If you want, this is 4 pages. See how there's 4 of these sticking up? If you want 6 pages, this is going to be 3 by 5 11/16. 5 11/16. The only thing about it is it changes your middle binding from 2 to 2.5 by 6. And I put, let me mark that out. I put by 5, it would be 2.5 by 6 inches. And it will give you 6 pages. So what you do is then you would stack it like that. if you want a bigger album. And then it would be gradual. It is by 3/4 gradualness. So what we're going to do is I already put the tape on and I burnished it down. I took my pokey and let's get this, and I put it in between those score lines. All that tape is in between my score lines, and I don't want any hanging anywhere. So if it's hanging, let's push it back to the middle. I do use glue on this because you can see where I didn't go right to the edge. And this is the most important thing. This gets the most wear and tear. So if I glued anything, it would be this. So then I usually measure, but I'm going to eyeball, and I'm just going to put it in the middle. It's almost equal amounts. So I just eyeballed it. And I burnished down. I just eyeballed it. Okay. Any glue, just wipe up. It dries clear anyway. I already have these taped for my second one, and I'm going to get the tape off. I do use whatever size tape fits it because I happen to have it. But if I had to use just this size, I would cover in between the score lines all the way, because this is what gets the most, like I said, the most activity. Okay. So now we do take the glue. This one's running out. And I got buy one, get one free with the free tip. If you're going to buy this art glitter glue, make sure you get this tip that goes with it. I think it's like $3. So it's not the cheapest glue, but it is really good glue. I think there's other glues out there you could probably buy from Walmart. Okay. It doesn't matter which direction you put this up this way, or you rotate it to this way, because it's the same. Just don't put it that way. So let's just I usually measure this too and try to get it centered, but I'm gonna just eyeball it and try to have same amount of distance up here as down here and on the sides. And I can scoot it over just a hair. And another thing about that glue is it kind of gives you wiggle room from the tape, because the glue is on there first. And now burnish down. And we are done with this part of it. Go all the way. No glue sticking out really. Okay guys, look at there. You are ready. See how much there's just a little bit on both sides. So we're ready for pages. So let me upload this. Let me get my pages ready. I'm going to get 4 pages ready, and that means I'm going to have 3 of them ready and only show you one, because it'll go quick and easy. And then I'll show you pockets, and I'll show you flip extra pages. So okay guys, do you want to get a screenshot of this? There you go. Thanks for coming. I hope this has helped you. I hope I haven't drove you crazy. Please leave me a comment if you need any help. Please leave me a comment if you need to know anything. I'm here to help you. Good night.